What's up, guys? It's Black Scout Survival, and today I'm going to just take a few minutes to go over my fire kit and what I carry in it to use to make fire. But let's first talk about, part of your survival kit or your fire kit is going to be your knife. You need a solid fixed blade knife. This can process wood down to kindling size and also help you process natural tinder. And it's very important for you to have a good quality knife that you can depend on. Another thing before I get into the actual fire kit is that most of my sheaths that I get most of my sheaths made for particular knives, and I always get a fire steel attachment on all of them. That way I always have, if I have my knife and I lose my fire kit, I always have a way to create a spark. And this, whenever I have it on my sheath, that is my last ditch fire steel. I don't use it until I get in a bad situation. So I never use this one or any that's on any of my other sheaths or whatever knives I'm carrying at the time. I'll either have a fire steel in my pocket or I'll have a big lighter, and I'll use that to procure fire prior to using this. But let's go ahead and jump into the fire kit. This is just a belt pouch that I keep mine in. Can be rigged on the belt, nothing fancy or anything. Let's go ahead and open it up. And I have ignition sources in here as well as tinder. So we'll break it down into two categories. First off, I have just a little film type canister with petroleum cotton balls. And these are good. They're pretty much free. You can find these products in mostly in your medicine cabinet or whatnot. I just got some bright colored tape on there. That'll go in the tinder category. Get some of this stuff out. I have two chemical fire starters, and this is fast fire and wet fire, and this is just a larger version of the wet fire. But these work good. They're can be crushed down. You can use however much or however little you need to by scraping it off. But you can also use the whole thing. It's like a hexamine type cube, and boil water or whatnot. Primarily this one, because this one will burn for 8 minutes. I think this has got like a 4-minute burn time. But they can also be put out and reused at a later time. The thing is, you have to make sure that these are sealed up good, because they will go bad if not. Just make sure when you push it, you feel some air in there, what they call a pillow. And as long as there's some air in there, you're good to go. The next thing in my tinder category is going to be a piece of fat wood and jute twine. And basically I just drill a hole in mine, cut it down to size, drill a hole in it, and tie some jute, and I can make bird nest or whatnot to use this for permanent fire starting or spark based fire or whatever. And and fat wood is excellent, and you can find this out in the field if you know how to look for it. I have steel wool, and this stuff is great. It can take a spark from a ferrocerium rod, or you can use a battery 9-volt, and we have a video showing how to do that. But good stuff to have. Another chemical fire starter I have is the utility flame, and this is a gel, and it needs an ignition type fire like a match or lighter to use, and Chance Sanders and I did a video in the past reviewing this, and you can check that out. But it's good because you can lather this all over some wet kindling, and it'll take a flame and heat up and dry out and start a fire with. Have just some coglins, like little tinder tabs. They're like highly saturated with some type of wax or whatnot. They have a long burn time, and they're pretty much weightless, and they're good stuff. I have 2 emergency candles, and you can get these from like the dollar store or whatnot. But these are good because they can play 2 roles. They can help you start a fire with wet wood by holding the flame under there for a long time. It can also be used inside of a wrap yourself up in an emergency blanket, hold the candle inside, and this will give off heat and reflect back onto you, and also for illumination. But these are good, and I keep them wrapped in a plastic bag in case they do melt during the hot summer months, and in that case I can still use the wax if need be. In here, this is the Fire Starter Aviation Survival Spark Light, and it's basically let me get it out, a sparking tool, and this is good for one-hand fire starting. In case I do get injured, I can use this, and it comes with these tinder quick tabs here, and these things are great. They have about a 2.5 minute burn time. They take a spark very well. And it just a bunch of them just come in this kit, so I just throw the whole kit in here. And this is like a standard issue survival fire starter for military. All right, the next thing is 2 big lighters. One of them is a piezo electric, and we've got a video on this. They light even when wet. And then I have just a standard flint fire starter and a cover. This is a waterproof cover, and I can lanyard it to myself if need be, and keeps it waterproof. I have some MRE matches. I'm not even sure why I have these in here, but I do. They're pretty much useless. They are only good for damp environments at best. But I have a match case, and I got this match case down at a Ranger store down at Fort Benning, Georgia, when I was down there attending a jump school or airborne school, learning how to parachute. And really, that's really the only reason why I carry it, because matches are good, but I'd rather have some other means. But I have, just the UCO Stormproof and a couple Strike Anywheres that has been waterproof with fingernail polish, like I've done a video on. I just keep a little piece of cotton in there and a striker. The cotton can be used for tinder if need be also. And then at the bottom of it, there's a little flint there, and this can actually be scraped and used with a cotton ball, so it works well. Also carry a ferrocerium rod, and this is just a standard. I think this is like the Air Force sear style. And some magnesium, a little bar of magnesium there to use on wet tinder or wet fuel. Just anything. If I'm out there processing my own tinder and it's wet, this will get it hot enough to spark up, and just a scraper. Now during the winter months, I may carry something like this, a little bit larger, something. If I lose a little bit of mobility because of the cold weather, I can use this to strike with, the Corona sharpener, and the large ferrocerium rod will work better with gloved hands. Another thing I carry, and I actually changed this out recently because I was using my old style flint and steel, but this is just the SC Knives flint and steel kit, and you get this steel here, and it has a bow drill divot there. And I just got some flint, char cloth, some more cloth to make char cloth, and some jute twine there. And the tin can be made to use make more char cloth with. And the good thing about flint and steel is that it is a renewable resource. I can find more flint, and I can make more char cloth out in the field. So this thing, as long as I don't lose a striker, this is indefinite fire starting abilities. So it's a good thing to have. And then I just have a Fresnel lens from Ben's Backwoods, and use the solar rays to start a fire. But essentially that's it. And you may say, man, this is overkill, Well, folks that say that probably have never been in a situation where they've had, wet rain for, weeks at a time, where it's been very difficult to start a fire. If I need to start a fire, it's probably for good reason. I'm getting hypothermic, I've gotten wet, and I'm trying to get warm very quick. So this is just a small bit of insurance, you know, that doesn't weigh very much to help me start that fire. The other thing is it also helps me practice my skills when I'm out in the field by using various ways to start fire. But, you know, hopefully this will help you develop your kit and, you know, get some things in there to practice with and train with. But check out blackscoutsurvival.com for more tips and tutorials. Please subscribe if you hadn't subscribed. And as always, thanks for watching.